I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. We're here with Heart of the Home today, and I'm going to show you guys a delicious summertime dessert using one of my absolute favorite ingredients, and that is figs. This is a brown turkey fig. There are several out there. These are actually in season in February and August, believe it or not. I used to have a huge tree at my previous residence, and I loved using all the figs off of it. This recipe is so refreshing. I cannot get over it. So first we're going to start with the crust. We're going to be using a tart pan with a removable bottom, but we're going to step over here to my food processor where we have about 1.5 cups of flour. We're going to add 1/2 cup of cornmeal. This is a cornmeal crust. And then we're going to add a pinch of salt. And we're going to actually add some chopped rosemary. Yes, rosemary. A savory ingredient with a sweet dessert. You'll be so pleasantly surprised at this. Add that in. Turn our food processor on. While that's starting to blend, you want to go ahead and have about a stick of butter, about 1/2 cup, excuse me, and you want to go ahead and start adding that to your mixture. It's going to start coming together, but it will take just a moment. And we're also going to be adding some ice water to that. It is preferable that you have the butter cold. It would certainly blend quite a bit better. I would have it waited in the fridge before you mix this up. So now that that's coming together, we have some ice water here, and we want to add the recipe I think says 3 to 4 tablespoons. Believe it or not, the weather does affect these sorts of things. I've made them before where I've had to add 7 tablespoons of water. And all we're looking for is for the dough to come together. And I believe that's 3, 4. It's not quite together yet. 5. It's going to start leaving the sides of the bowl when it's done. You should always stop and take a look at it anyway. I can touch it with my fingertip and it is still quite dry. Now I know a lot of people like to measure, but really you can take a look at it. You can see it starting to leave the sides of the bowl, so that means it's nice and fresh. Should be just about ready. Yep, there it goes. We're going to turn that off. Then you're going to come back to your tart pan again with the removable bottom. You want to get it in there and you want to start pressing it down. You want to have your oven on a pre-bake of, I believe it says 400 degrees in your recipe. And all you want to do is push it down and push it up the sides of your tart pan. Once you get it out to the sides, then you kind of want to give yourself a little bit of a well, so to speak. And you want to get in here with your fingertips and start pushing up the sides, as you see I'm doing. And first we want to let this chill in the refrigerator for about 1/2 hour. If you want to cut that time in half, go to the freezer for about 15 minutes. You want it somewhat firm while your oven is preheating. While that's in the freezer, we're going to make a delicious filling to go into the middle of it. What we have here in our bowl already is a little bit of lime zest and a little bit of a tablespoon or so of sugar. We're going to add about 2/3 or 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. Now, the recipe is going to call for mascarpone cheese. Mascarpone is basically a highly whipped cream cheese. If you can't find it in this grocery store, go ahead and just use cream cheese. That's fine. You want it a little soft. I personally prefer the mascarpone because I feel like it gives it more of a rich flavor. And we want to finish zesting our lemon. We want about a teaspoon and a half or so of lemon zest. All right, get all that nice outer skin off of that. Now we can start to mix it up with our spatula. And now that I see how soft this is, I'm actually going to choose not to use the mixer for it. If it was more firm, if the mascarpone or cream cheese hasn't been sitting out, it might be a little too firm to come together. Then in that case, you would want to maybe run a hand mixer through it. But this actually looks pretty perfect, so I don't believe we're going to need the mixer for this. All right, so our delicious crust of flour, cornmeal, rosemary, and a little sugar was in the freezer for about 15 minutes, and then we popped it into a 400-degree oven for about a half an hour. You want it nice and light and brown, and now we're ready for our filling. And we're going to put that into the middle of our tart pan, or the middle of our tart shell. This is a cold dessert. There's no more baking for this. We're going to spread the filling around. We're not trying to come up completely to the top because we're going to be adding these delicious sliced figs. Somewhat decoratively, you want to just sort of place them around. If we need more figs to slice, we certainly have those. I have gone out to my tree before and popped them right off the branches and eaten them in the hot sun. It is just nothing more satisfying, to be quite honest, except for maybe a tomato. And then we have just a little bit of a finishing touch. We have warmed up some agave here on our stove, just a little low, not very high at all. Just want it nice and warm. We're going to take a basting brush, take our agave. You can use honey, it doesn't have to be the agave. Brush this right over the top. You're looking to give it just a nice sort of shimmer, a glaze of some sort. And there you have it, a nice, delicious, refreshing summer dessert using fresh figs that are usually in harvest in August. I'm Tammy Brawley with The Green Kitchen. We hope you'll join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafb.com/recipes, as well as on Chef Tammy Brawley's website at greenkitchenrichmond.com.